Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ravens and Raven, your one-stop shop for all things Ravens. Not really. It's not a one-stop shop. I don't do everything here. You can go other places, you can go to other shops, but either way, that doesn't matter. I'm already going off on a tangent. But in this episode, we're going to be breaking down this upcoming game that the Ravens have up against the Cincinnati Bengals. The team named after a city and a bunch of Indian people, because Bengals aren't a tiger. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it until they change their name. Bengals are a group of people from Bengal. Alright? It's not a type of tiger. It's a region. So get your shit together, Bengals. But before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about some roster moves we made. We got some people coming in, some people going. That triggering some fans, and then some videos online that are also triggering some fans with some great takes, including one from Eric Mangini, the genie himself. Rub the lamp and a Mangini will grant you 3 takes. Okay, but you got to be careful. Because, when it comes to a Mangini, you think you're getting some good takes, but really the secret to a Mangini and what you got to be careful with is, you rub the lamp, you think, oh, you're going to get these great takes. But no, really, they're kind of sneaky. They're not, there's like some backdoor rules that they kind of take with it. Like, oh, let me rub this lamp. Like, hey, can I get a take, Mangini? Yes, what do you want as your first take? Do you think this offense is revolutionary? Okay, this offense is not revolutionary. It's the exact same offense that Greg Roman ran with Colin Kaepernick. Okay, thanks, Mangini. God, what a trash take. And it didn't even stop there, right? You're granted 3 takes, or 3 trash takes. But like I said, it's secret trash. You don't know. You rub the lamp. You think you're getting a regular take. But no, they're trash. They're false takes. Anyways, this is not what I wanted to start with. But, the Ravens made some moves. They signed DeAnthony Thomas and waived, Maurice Kennedy. And that move, I think, for DeAnthony Thomas was in response to what Cyrus Jones did against the Patriots. He apparently is still on the Patriots payroll, and he dropped that fumble, allowing the Patriots to come back and get back in that game after we were thumping them 17-0 after, was it like the first and start of the second quarter, real early on. So, we made this move, bring in DeAnthony Thomas to kind of bolster that punt return position. And the only thing is he got fired from the Chiefs for the same exact thing, right? He got fired because he couldn't hold on to the ball. And so we bring him in thinking, oh, he's not going to do the same thing? I don't know. But he is definitely more electric. Cyrus Jones, even when he catches the ball, what does he do? He just hops side to side until he gets tackled. It's really unimpressive and really sad to watch. Like, come on, man, just go upfield. Even if you get nothing, I know you don't want to take the hit, and I know that's one of the scariest things to play. Just catching the ball and having a bunch of 200-pound people running at you full tilt. That's not cool. That's not fun. I imagine it's no bueno. But that's what you get paid to do, right? That was your job. You are the punt returner, so try and get some yards and at least just catch it. And he's been fairly good. I don't think he's fumbled this year, but I mean this was the reason that we were able to get him from the Patriots, right? Because he couldn't hold on to the ball there, and he's not good enough at corner as a second-round draft pick, too. So what you're not impressing anybody. I hate to shit on the guy, but you weren't impressing anybody. And so they bring in DeAnthony Thomas, and a lot of people are thinking, hey, why would we bring in DeAnthony Thomas, get rid of Maurice Kennedy instead of getting rid of Cyrus Jones. And I think they want to keep Cyrus Jones on the roster at the moment and bring in a DeAnthony Thomas, so that way they can see them next to each other. They can see how they produce kind of in the same situation. I know they brought in DeAnthony Thomas earlier for workouts, so they kind of have seen what they look like. But you don't want to just fire your punt returner, bring in a new guy, and the off chance he is also just straight hot garbage. You don't want to risk it that much. And DeAnthony Thomas, he does bring some stuff on the offense. Cyrus Jones, he is a corner, but our cornerbacks are now healthy and is not a huge need. I think their thinking was, hey, we waive Maurice Kennedy, then we eventually see who wins out in this DeAnthony Thomas versus Cyrus Jones kind of a deal, and eventually we then cut Cyrus Jones and then bring back Maurice Kennedy. And then the Jets came in and swooped up Maurice Kennedy because they are the New York Ravens. That whole front office just must miss being in Baltimore, because they seem to sign every single one of our goddamn players. It's like, here you go, little bro, have my hand-me-downs. They are just getting the hand-me-downs of the Ravens. It's like, all right, whatever, you go ahead and have him. And Maurice Kennedy, when he wasn't injured, he started picking it up. He started getting back to that 2016 form that made him so valuable to us, and the reason he stayed on our roster. And maybe another reason they decided it was okay to cut Kennedy is because we're going to be getting Iman Marshall back, right? We're going to be getting him back from IR, designated to return. He was stashed, that's the obligatory rookie stash. So I think he was a part of that, and I think we get him back. That'll kind of replace him as that last corner on our roster, that just in case kind of guy. I kind of liked what he did in the preseason. I was impressed by his tape. When we first drafted him, I was like, oh, what? Like when we first drafted, right? Everyone was kind of like, why? We don't even really need a corner. What are we doing? Turns out we do need a corner, because everyone was getting hurt, and then they just decided to stash him because they thought we were healthy enough and we could sustain an injury here and an injury there. But you know what? We had an injury here, there, and over there, and also over there, and around there, and don't go around that corner because there's another injury. That's kind of what our secondary was hit, so the stash didn't look like a wise move. But now everyone's getting back healthy, and Iman Marshall can go in. And like I said, I was kind of impressed by his tape after watching it and kind of breaking it down in the draft process. I didn't really break down him as a player during my draft coverage when I was covering the draft this year, because I didn't think we were going to get a corner, right? I thought we were short, but luckily I don't get paid the big bucks, and Eric DeCosta does, because he maybe saw this coming. In DeCosta we trust. Right player, right DeCosta. Big Dick DeCosta. EDC. EDC. So, we'll have him back. And, DeAnthony Thomas, right? He is explosive. We can use him on offense. I know we already have a speed guy in Marquise Brown, but Marquise Brown isn't fully healthy. And even the limited snaps that we have him on, he still looks impressive. He is still a main part of our offense and makes it go and scares the defense. His speed is still legit, even being injured. So it just gives me hopes towards the future. The only thing is, ankle and foot injuries are tricky, and you don't know exactly how things are going to go with it. And you don't know the timetable. It's always weird. You make your money on your feet and with your legs in the NFL, and so anytime you affect that, you affect the money makers. It's not going to help you out, right? So bringing in DeAnthony Thomas, he's a very explosive player, and I just can't wait. Hopefully one day during the season, we put DeAnthony Thomas, Marquise Brown, Justice Hill, and Lamar Jackson out on the field. Now that is some speed. We can even do it this week against the Bengals. Just test it out, see how it goes, because that is some elite speed. That is under 4.4 speed, under 4.3 speed, all across our offense. That would be the cheetah, the cheetah set. I don't know how they would, cheetah formation. What else is fast in this world? The rocket formation. I don't know. The shooting star formation. Doesn't matter. We'll workshop the name. We'll come up with a good one. So yeah, I like the signing. At first it's like, why would they get rid of Maurice Kennedy? But then you consider, okay, then they got Iman Marshall coming back, Cyrus Jones. At least they're not just, hedging their bet on this guy who's coming in, right? They kind of already did that with the linebackers with Josh Bynes and everything, but at least they have they'll have some leeway with it, right? Maybe they'll get looks in the game. Both of them will get a chance. Like, hey, you guys are fighting for a job. D'Anthony Thomas, you're coming in. You want to be hungry. You are out of the NFL, so come on in and let's see if you can prove yourself. Cyrus Jones, you're already on this roster. Beat out this guy, right? What's more valuable? I don't know. Whoever wins is more valuable. That's the answer to that. But I'll get to the main point of this podcast, breaking down this game. It's a trap! Because this is the trappiest of trap games. It's like Tom Hardy in The Warrior, just traps for days. This is the biggest trap. No, you know what? I'm going to change my mind on this. On the spot. This isn't a trap game. Because Lamar, he jukes the traps, right? Trap games are a thing for terrible teams. We are a good team. We don't fall into traps. We have in the past, but that was a Joe Flacco run offense. And Joe Flacco, he's the kind of guy that gets caught in the traps. Imagine if you've ever watched Lost, you go onto this crazy island, there's traps set everywhere, like, oh my God, Joe Flacco would be the first one to get caught in one of those traps. That's just what I think. Don't take him with you to, I don't know. I was thinking of Indiana Jones. Don't take him with you, Indiana Jones, because Joe Flacco will get you in a trap. Now, Lamar Jackson, he will just slide right through that trap. He will see it coming. The man will put the traps in a blender because that's what he's proven to do. And he hasn't lost to terrible teams. And don't talk about the Browns game, but, for whatever reason, I don't understand that Browns game. After seeing what the Browns have done the rest of the season, maybe, what the Patriots fans were talking about us Ravens, enjoy your Super Bowl win. I think that's what the Browns did, because after they beat us, they still haven't won a game, and they haven't played the best competition. It's not like their record or their schedule has been extra ultra tough, right? No, they're just playing. They just lost to the Broncos with a first-time starting quarterback. Either way, man. Either way, this would be seen as a trap game because this isn't an defeated team, right? They are fully defeated, 0-8. Like, they have not been able to win. They played us close score-wise, but I mean, if you remember that game, you're watching that game, it never felt out of hand for us. Even after that kick return on the first play, I was like, yeah, I still feel fine about this game. This doesn't make me nervous at all. Everybody gets one. There you go. The next time they scored their touchdown was like with a minute left. Maybe 2 minutes left. It didn't really matter. They weren't doing too well, right? They're not a good team. They have just been losing left and right. But hey, they benched Andy Dalton, so maybe that'll give him a chance. They're bringing in their rookie, Ryan Finley. I think when we're done with him, he'll be Ryan finished, if you ask me. Ooh, sick burn, bro. You just got burned. Yeah, I understand why it could be a trap game, right? You just came off of probably the biggest win this franchise has had since the Super Bowl. You're going against a divisional opponent, right? Divisional opponents, they always play you tough, especially with us. It always seems like our divisional opponents play us pretty tough. And they're coming off of a bye. There's a lot of stuff kind of going in that narrative direction. Bringing in a new rookie quarterback who has little to no tape on him. They're coming off a bye, so they hopefully are getting some good looks in practice. They're scheming up some stuff. Zach Taylor is their head coach. There's not a ton of tape on him as a play caller. We don't know how he's gonna act or react or have his team playing after a bye week. We just haven't seen it. This could be his shit. He could be a terrible coach, but you don't know. He could go undefeated coming out of the bye. That could be his thing. He comes from that Sean McVay tree, right? That offensive-minded genius tree. So we have yet to see, and they are apparently getting AJ Green back, even though I've seen reports saying, oh, he's not fine. He's day-to-day at this point, or hey, he's starting. It's conflicting reports, which makes me say they're trying to trap you, right? They're trying to trap us with these reports. AJ Green, he might not play. Yeah, I don't know. And AJ Green is the biggest Ravens killer. So you get AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, and Auden Tate on the field at the same time, and all three of these guys have had huge games against us. Auden Tate, he was the last one to do it. We locked down Tyler Boyd in that last game earlier in the year. But Auden Tate, he had a great game. He was catching some crazy balls against us where it's like, he's not even open. How did he catch that? You can't be mad at the coverage that our guys were giving him. It's like, well, fuck, man. Damn. Yeah, that was a good catch, man. All you can do is tip your hat to the guy. But you know what? Our defense is different from that day. All of our corners are coming back. We now have Jimmy Smith. We now have Marcus Peters. Marlon Humphrey is still back. So, hey, Marlon Humphrey, you take Tyler Boyd. Lock him down again. Jimmy Smith, you go ahead and take on A.J. Green. We've seen that battle before, but you know what? Maybe you put Marlon on A.J. Green, and you have Jimmy taking Tyler Boyd. And I bring Marcus Peters, now you take Auden Tate. We match up, right? Any team that comes up against us, hey, we got good wide receivers. Well, you know what? We have good corners. And this is why Eric DeCosta, it seems like he's prioritized that position, and why I'm a firm believer in the building of a defense from back to front. Traditionally you go front to back, right? Middle to outside. The game is won in the trenches. And I think to a certain aspect that's correct. But, I think it's tough to defend the pass by committee, right? You need dudes. You need that guy. You need some excellent high-level cornerbacks to take on wide receivers, because I don't think I don't think you can play the defensive back position by committee. Yeah, you can put 2-3 people on a guy, but then that's leaving your front. That's leaving your front open. I've talked about this before, that I believe make it so that you can play man-to-man on the outside, and that way you can stack the box, because it's easy to confuse, like, up front, and if you have less people, it's hard to kind of win those matchups one-on-one. You can easily confuse with different blocking schemes up front, and I could be completely wrong about this. I am not a coach. I am not some X's and O's guru, but it's just the way I feel. It's my kind of take on the defense, right? You can win up front without those guys, right? You don't need the best players at their respective positions up front to be successful up front, right? To be successful in the pass rush, to be successful against the run. You just need a bunch of bodies and people to do their job. And that's what the Ravens did last year, and that's what the Ravens are, I believe, doing this year. And you can point to, hey, they had Zadarius Smith, Terrell Suggs, and Brandon Williams, Michael Pierce, all these guys, and that's the reason they're killing it up front. And that may be true, but they're doing it by committee. And I just feel like from a team building standpoint, you want to dump your money on the defense into the secondary, because you can't have two guys covering one guy every single play. You're going to need to have success. You're going to need to be able to man up. Man up, son. Now, I could be completely wrong, and you may hate me for that take, but that's the way I feel about it. So, yeah, they have some of the best wide receivers in the league. I think, the Vikings may rival them, but I think they have a very deep wide receiver room, and our cornerbacks are going to be matched up, and they will catch on us, right? They will get some on us. I say this all the time. You can't fully stop it, no matter how good your corners are. You can't fully stop it, and that's just the way it is. That's the way the rules are kind of set towards the offense. But I still think you eliminate that big play, and it allows your team to kind of win. And recently we've been getting a lot of turnovers, being opportunistic. And I think, we can continue that. That's the way to win, right? Let them try to march down the field. Eventually they will make a mistake. And that's a philosophy that I agree with. And it's, you flip it to the other side. Well, then why are the Ravens so successful? They just march down the field. And that's because we got an elite offense with an elite player in Lamar Jackson. That is our game plan. We like to march down the field. We like to control the clock. But a lot of these other teams, too much of their offensive success, too many of their points are determined by getting the big play, getting the huge long touchdown, yards after the catch type bullshit. Most teams aren't built for the long drive. Our team on offense at least is built to win in a phone booth. Our defense is built to win in a phone booth. Even if they catch a ball, even if a wide receiver catches the ball on us, they're getting tackled right then and there. At least in recent weeks, we're not allowing huge yards after the catch. And that's why, those first few weeks, right, when everything's looking down, they allowed 2 500-yard games in a row. It's like, what's going on, man? It's because they're letting people, or they're not tackling people on the spot. They were allowing them to catch the ball and then get downfield, then run for another 10, 15, 20 yards, maybe even into a touchdown, right? And this team, on defense, it seems like they had turned a corner, right? Once Josh Bynes came in, once Marcus Peters came in, it seems like this defense has turned a corner. Is it something they were saying in the the meeting rooms, like, hey, we need to get our shit together? What the fuck are we doing out there? I think it's a mix of that, plus these guys coming in knowing how to do their job. Josh Bynes, he's a veteran, right? LJ Fort, veterans. These guys know what they're supposed to do. When Wink Martindale says, hey, in this situation, you see this, they go here, you go there. Do your job. And I think this defense, they've started to do that. They've started to play some sound and good fundamental football. So, and we recently have got Peanut back, and he's going back to the weak side linebacker position, coming in and out, not being on the field 24/7, or play in, play out, not having to relay the calls, allowing him to kind of be free and roam that side of the ball, really just play to his full extent. It's giving him the ability to really read his keys and get back to the form that he was before the end of last season, when he was playing at a super high level. Apparently the Ravens even offered him a contract, and he said, nah, I'll turn that down. I'm going to bet on myself. And if I play well this year, I will get either a huge contract by you guys or by someone else. So he's chosen to bet on himself. So we are going to get the best out of Peanut, right? We're going to get that peanut punch. You want a peanut? It's small peanuts, right? Either way, so he came huge last game, with that causing that fumble, and he's coming back. And the biggest thing about him is that blitzing ability. We saw it last week. He blitzed Brady and got him in the first drive. So getting back to those things, that's what we need to do. Get back to what made us so great last year. And what we did so great last year was just man up on the outside and allow you to bring a bunch of people in the pass rush. Right? And that kind of goes to what I was saying before. You can do that by committee. I think it's tougher to win one-on-one in a pass rush situation versus at the cornerback position. That whole, which is more important, cornerback or pass rush? And I was kind of alluding to that earlier, right? Where you can do it by committee, and it's actually easier to do it by committee. Because the pass rush, how quickly a lot of quarterbacks to get rid of the ball, you would have to beat your man instantaneously off the line and run straight at the quarterback to get to him. And the only way you can get that sort of scenario, or the easiest way, is to confuse the offensive lineman. And what's the easiest way to do that? It's with blitzes and just numbers, just mad numbers on the defensive line. And the easiest way to do that is to have some great-ass corners on the back end so that you feel comfortable with sending a bunch of extra people at the quarterback, because you can do that when you have lockdown corners. Like I said, it's tough to do by committee. It's tougher to do cornerback by committee than it is that defensive line. And I know a lot of people talking about the Ravens and their defense. We need a pass rusher. Like, listen, everyone on the defensive line rushes the passer. So they bring in a Jihad Ward. He finally gets his first sack. He's not a pass rusher. He's just a defensive lineman. You just need guys who know how to get pressure. And that could come from the nose tackle position. That could come from an edge rusher position, right? But we saw Tim Williams, right? He's a pass rush specialist, and now he is out of the league. He went to the Packers, and now he is not on their team anymore. So yeah. So getting to maybe the offense a little bit more. I'm sure I have more thoughts on the defense. Maybe I'll get into it more. I don't know. Like I said, this podcast is, unedited, just kind of flowing through it. Been talking straight, haven't paused it yet. I don't even know where my water is, so I don't know how I would pause it. Because that's the only time I pause, right? Only time I pause is when I need some water. But I am craving some Raven, and you are too. If you're listening to this, you are definitely craving some Raven. It's not a podcast. It's a way of life. Yeah, I got a fever, and the only prescription is some more Ravens football, and we got a game this Sunday. The Bengals, baby. The Bengals. So, one thing about this offense, and with Lamar Jackson, or what Lamar Jackson has proven to me, is he loves playing the Bengals, man. You know, it was his first game, so I think it's a little bit of nostalgia with him. I think it's, you were my first NFL team I played against. I love you. He just loves to destroy the Bengals. He's had over 100 yards in each game he's played against him. I don't know if he got over 100 yards in his first game, but I'll just say he did because it seemed like he did. He was running all over them. I don't remember his stat line. I just remember he ran 22 times and everyone and their grandma was saying, it's sustainable, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, we've turned a new leaf. And this offense is cooking on all cylinders. I think going against the Patriots last week has proven that this offense is damn near impossible to stop. When we're rolling, when we are calling the right plays, when we have you schemed up, good luck. You can do whatever you want. We are a great running team, right? Running for over 200 yards a game. That is unheard of. Literally historic, right? I talked about this in the last podcast when I was talking about that Patriots game, right? You know, that Patriots defense was on a historic pace, but so was this Ravens offense. It is fucking historic what this team under Lamar Jackson and Greg Roman have done to the running game. They are revolutionizing it. They are doing some next level shit, or maybe some old school shit. It's hard to tell which way it kind of goes, but you know, running for 200 yards a game and going up against the best defense in the league, right? Or you know, they're either one or two versus when it comes to the Patriots, either San Francisco or the Patriots on defense, right? They're either one or two. Either way, it's the best defense Lamar has faced to date. And what the Patriots did was they decided to stack the box, right? Because they, just like us, have great corners and they have the ability to stack the box. And they knew that our running game is prolific and really good. So let's be Bill Belichick and stop what they do best, even though they lost on purpose so that when they play us in the future, they know how to stop us. God, what a great take that is. What a great take, Patriots fans. You really know how to lose poorly, right? Just take the fucking loss. Just take the fucking loss, man. How many games do you need to win, right? You'll want enough. How many Super Bowls you got? You got 6 Super Bowls? You got 7? What are they at now? 1,000 Super Bowls? And they lose once. It's all, yeah, did it on purpose, bro. Yeah, that's what we did with the Browns. You know, Harbaugh is so smart. You know, he lost to the Browns and the Chiefs because he knew that we are going to be playing these teams again. It's fucking genius. Why didn't I think of that? You know, you got to go backwards to go forward sometimes. It's just the way life works, you know. But the Bengals, they can try and stack the box, right? Their defensive line is maybe underrated. They still have Geno Atkins and some other guys. Sam Hubbard is nice. Their defense is just not that good. This team, just in general, just does not have the talent it once did. I think their defense is older, especially in the defensive back position. And Lamar Jackson can just run all over him. He's got the speed. He's put this team in a blender too many times. Like I said, he loves playing the Bengals. You know, Ravens fear no Bengal. Tigers are bullshit. So, yeah, I was getting to something, but I completely forgot. So they can try to stack the box, right? And if the Patriots can't stop it, I don't see how the Bengals are going to, right? Now, this is a trap game, right? They've seen us before. They should know how to play it, but I don't know, man. It's not a great team. They have seen us before, so familiarity always helps you, no matter what. And that goes to the same. That goes for everybody, whether you're Lamar Jackson or Tom Brady. You know, the more times you play them, the more comfortable you are. You know their tendencies a little bit better. You know how the play callers like to call the plays. So there's familiarity there. But I think, you know, the Bengals, they're just familiar with losing to us. At least these past couple times. You know, they have had our number, but I think, like Lamar Jackson's Instagram handle, this is a new era. And I think we're now just going to dominate the Bengals until they come back to football relevance. With Lamar Jackson, it seems like we can beat the teams we're supposed to beat. The one fluke that entire time has been the Browns at one time. And like I was talking about earlier with the defense, that's when things change. That's when we were like, all right, you're out, or let's bring you in, let's bring you in, let's bring you in. After that game, everything changed, and we are now a completely different team on defense. And so under Lamar, and getting back to where this offense is, this team doesn't scare me going against the Bengals, right? I had started saying it's a trap game. It's a trap. But I don't agree with that anymore. Mid podcast, mid saying it, it's like, you know what? It's not a trap, because Lamar hasn't really fallen into those traps. Even that Browns game, that wasn't a trap game at the time, right? It was still very early in the season. I don't think you can have trap games early in the season, because you don't know. It's the NFL, any given Sunday, blah, 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 blah. It's anything can happen. Like the 49ers, they weren't supposed to be this good this year, right? So you don't know after the first 2 weeks, or the first 3 weeks, I think at that point, where the teams are at. So there really can't be a trap game at that point. And so when you say it's a trap game because this team is not supposed to win. The Bengals aren't supposed to win. And so that's why it's like, well, what do you think is going to happen in this game? The Ravens, I'm pretty sure, favored it. I haven't done any bets this week. I have not gone to the casino, and I will. I think I'm gonna try and go on Friday, and then after I place my bets, I will do my picks for the week. Currently 87-47 right now, so not bad on the year. So hopefully I keep my picks going. Yeah, dude. Last week's bets, all the games that I lost on were all the afternoon games, and all of those I thought I knew what was gonna go on, right? Any given Sunday. What the fuck do I know? I'm just a guy. Because I lost a bunch of bets in the NFL. A bunch.
I don't know how to respond to that.
What, bitch? What did you just say to me, Siri? Alright. Quit listening to me, bro. Like an Edward Snowden. He told us, right? They're listening. Even Siri. Siri's creeping in on you. Hey, Siri. Fuck you.
Respond to that.
Little bitch. Anyways, you should check out the Ravens and Bengals podcast. Dude, the guy just yells at his Siri for 30 minutes. It's hilarious. Anyways, man, this game doesn't make me nervous. Last time the Bengals were playing him, I was nervous, right? I was saying that I was nervous about the game. And then it was weird because once the game started, I was like, yeah, I don't feel nervous anymore. It's just one of those weird things. Maybe it's where your head is at the time when you're making these predictions, but I just don't feel nervous about this team. I really don't. They've proven that they're not good. They're not good. Who have they played? Earlier when we played them the first time, right? They had played some good opponents, so it's like, we got some trouble. They could be better than we thought. They are who we thought they were. Let's see. Bengals schedule. What's your Bengals schedule? Oh, that's sweet. Oh, look at sweet schedule. Oh, that's sick, dude. That's freaking shit. Alright, so, yeah, coming off a bye. Alright, so they lost to the Rams. They lost to the Jags. They've lost to us. They've lost to the Cardinals. Lost to San Francisco. They've lost to the Seahawks. So, right, that's not a terrible schedule. The worst team they've played is maybe the Cardinals or Jags. And those teams are kind of underrated, in my opinion. So maybe the Bengals are better than we think. They're a good 0-8. But I still just, I don't know, man. You get rid of Andy Dalton, right? Andy Dalton, he thrives off of getting the ball out quick and getting it to his receivers, and that's how he's killed us in the past, because he's registered our pass rush inert by just getting rid of the ball so quick. They don't even have a chance to get to him. Our defensive line doesn't. So you bring in a Ryan Finley, that'll solve everything, right? Ryan, I haven't really watched tape on him. Apparently, he had a good preseason. Maybe he's the quarterback of the future. He could be the next Tom Brady. You don't fucking know. But I just don't see, this rookie coming in against our defense. I hope Wink Martindale decides, like, hey, we're gonna throw the kitchen sink at him. We are gonna give him every single look we have. Good luck, buddy. Good luck, you rook. Rook to knight 3. Ooh, you're dead. I don't really play chess, so that may have sounded really dumb, and that was a losing move. I'll never make that move again. Yeah, man, it's just, this Bengals team, they've just sucked for too long, and it's really tough for me to make an argument how they're going to win. And the only thing you can say, the only argument you would have is like, oh, well, they've had our number in the past, right? But all of those past times have been with a Joe Flacco team. And Joe Flacco just loves to keep the opposing team in the game, right? He would very rarely just, dominate a team, right? He would always just throw a stupid pick. It's 3rd and 5, let's throw it 2 yards. Hey, it's 3rd and 10, let's throw it 5 yards. He just didn't manage the game perfectly. He goes on the one huge historic run in Ravens history. We'll always be grateful for that. But that kind of ruined our team, or hindered our team, I should say. Kind of hindered our team for a little bit because we're paying him all this money, and he's not a trailer, or he's not a tractor. He's a trailer. I love Move the Sticks podcast, and that's what they always talk about with quarterbacks. The thing they always say is, this guy a truck or a trailer? A tractor or a trailer? It's a truck or a trailer. Do you pull everybody with you, or do you get pulled by everybody else? And Joe Flacco is the definition of a trailer-type quarterback. He needs a good defense. He needs dominant wide receivers to have success. And so, with Lamar Jackson, he is the definition of a truck. He brings everyone along with him. His leadership style, the way he picks up his offensive linemen, the way he is in the media. He's an honest dude. He's a nice guy. He shows his true colors, and nothing's too big for him. You ask him, hey, what do you think of all this MVP hype? Yeah, it's cool, but I just want to win. And that's what we need. That's what I think we all love about Lamar Jackson. Not only his play on the field, but the way he is out of the field. He gets pushed out of bounds late and runs into a reporter. He picks her up. He's a nice guy, reaches out to her on Twitter. He is a true leader, and he's not a quarterback put up on this pedestal like a lot of these other guys, right? Tom Brady, let me pray to you. Let me bow in your presence. Oh my God. Hello, Tom Brady. Oh my God, it's him. It seems like Lamar Jackson is not put up on this pedestal. And that's why I think a lot of teams that play against him, a lot of defenders that go up against him, they have nothing but nice things to say. Like, yeah, this dude's legit. He is really scary. That dude good. Like, they say shit like that. And a lot of teams, they don't really throw shade like back in the day. There's no beefs that people like to do just because of the whole social media world. And they know you say one little thing and it just gets taken to the nth degree. It just goes for millennia on the internet, and there's no stopping it. So people kind of cool out on the talking shit, but you can see it in their eyes in the interview where they get beaten and they're like, yeah, he's good. What are you gonna do? Like, they recognize his game, and people respect that. And because other teams, other players, and everybody watching, they see Lamar running, they see him putting his life on the line. He's not sliding down, avoiding contact, putting his arm out at the ref, looking like Jesus on the cross. Like, where's the flag? Where's the flag? He doesn't do that type of shit. And I think a lot of people, in the game, playing on defense, a lot of people in the media, a lot of people watching, I think they respect that. So he is that dude, and he is the new era of this Ravens offense. And I think, with that, he's bringing this team kind of forward, and he doesn't do things like fall into trap games. Like, this is the definition of a trap game for a Joe Flacco run team. A Joe Flacco run team will lose to the defeated Dolphins. Doesn't seem like Lamar does that. With Lamar, he gives you a chance no matter what. Because even if the play isn't there, he will make something happen. At least he's proven to do that. You never know, it could not continue. But, me personally, I think it will. I think he's one of the best to ever do it at that position. Is it a little bit early to be saying that? Probably. But I've said he's gonna go to the Hall of Fame. I've said lofty stuff before even the season started, before training camp. I even talked about him being the MVP this year. It turns out that's right. And it seems like people just continue to doubt the guy, right? This is my obligatory, let me hype up Lamar time of the podcast, because it happens every time, because I truly do think Lamar Jackson is the best to do it, right? I think he could be a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer in the making. And the only reason I say that is because I think he's better than Michael Vick. That could be debatable. Either way, he exudes Michael Vick type talent, and I think Michael Vick would be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for all that dog bullshit. If he wasn't out there fighting dogs, he'd be that dog in the Hall of Fame. He'd be that guy like, man, Michael Vick took over the game. He was transcendent, and he's winning the MVP, discussion, or he's in the MVP discussion now because, half of the MVP award, it's a hype award, right? And Lamar Jackson leads the league in hype. That's not a stat. I didn't look that up on PFF, but I'm pretty sure he leads the league in height. I know, for one thing, he leads the league in defenders swiping at air. We're like, oh, shit, oh, damn it. I've talked about this before, but, this is the Lamar Jackson hype segment, right? So Lamar Jackson has brought the NBA style to the NFL. That excitement, that crossover, basketball, it's so exciting. It's back and forth, lots of points, people juking out each other left and right, making crazy. Damn, you see that plays? And Lamar Jackson just does that every single play. And so, not every single play, but like each and every game, he adds to his highlight reel. That's not something you can say about a lot of players. Not many players add to their highlight reel. It's not a guarantee that they add to it each and every game. Lamar Jackson, I think if he's playing, he's adding to the highlight reel. He will blender up somebody, and that type of play that he does, it's all hype, baby. It's not saying it's like all bark no bite, but it's brings a lot of hype, and people are starting to do it. You do it on the biggest stage, and I talked about it before. That Sunday night game is like, this is the stage. Lamar, go out there and do your thing. And he went out and did it. And you've seen the media, besides a couple people, they're finally saying, oh, I was wrong about the kid. They're finally willing to admit it. Or, hey, this dude is legit. And people are really starting to talk about it. It's really starting to talk about this Ravens team. And I love that shit. So, this has been going on for about 42 minutes. Yeah, man, I just might as well leave it there. Just kind of leaving you up there, just hyping you up. That is a Ravens cock tease if I've ever heard one. So, I guess hopefully you enjoy the podcast. I will be doing my picks episode hopefully on Friday. I will try to get that. If I don't, then you can hate me. I didn't do one last week, and I am ashamed of that. So, hopefully you'll be hearing me from that. I have a Twitter now, so feel free to follow me on Twitter at CravenSomeRaven. If you just search that up, you'll find me. It's the same logo as the podcast, so you should be able to see that. I post stupid shit all the time. The most recent thing I posted, and I kind of want your guys' opinion on it. I want this to happen. I want this to get some tread. I want the Ravens to put on the throwbacks. I want to see the 1996 jerseys. I want those helmets with like the Ravens shield with the wings around it, those old school 90s lettering. Look, the 90s are back, baby. People are rocking mullets in the street. People are rocking the dad bod New Balances, stained from fresh cut grass. What you grilling there? Top of the morning, the dad sneakers, denim's making its way back. The 90s are in. The 90s are so in right now. So the Ravens should cash in on this, right? Rock those 96 uniforms. I think it'd be very cool looking, It is the new era. So let's give a throwback to the old era. Let's bring back some of those Ray Lewis nostalgia memories. Let's rock those 96 uniforms. A lot of other teams rock throwbacks. I don't think we're necessarily old enough to have a throwback, but we've had a first generation of uniforms. Let's bring them back, man. But who knows? I doubt they'll ever do it because they go ahead and say, hey, we're having a blackout tonight, and they don't even wear black pants. God damn it, Ravens. What are you doing to me? And I'm waiting for the blackout. I even talk about it on the podcast. Like, ooh, let's go. They're going to be wearing all blacks, baby. Let's get it. And I turn on the TV and like, what the fuck is this? They're wearing white pants? What is this? It's supposed to be black on black. Murdered out. Either way. Maybe they go murdered out this game. Who knows? First game against the Bengals, what they did when Lamar Jackson played them the first time, they were murdered out. I think that was a symbol of, hey, new era. Let's go murdered out. Let's look good out there. Let's all black these fools. That doesn't make sense, but yeah, man. So that's gonna do it. Score prediction, fucking 55-0. No, realistic, 32-7. I think the Bengals get some last second touchdown. I think that they're getting some wide receivers back, but we have improved at cornerback position in the secondary, improved at linebacker. We have increased our tackling ability somehow. So they have a rookie quarterback starting his first NFL game. All the signs are pointing towards a Ravens blowout, especially after the Ravens dominating the Patriots. So I'm just really hoping they don't come back with a letdown. It is an away game, divisional opponent, so you really never know with these types of games. But still, the Ravens should be able to win this game. If they want to be considered the top dog, if they want to go where they want to go, if they want to go to a Super Bowl or contest for a Super Bowl, get into the playoffs, you can't lose to a Bengals. You can't lose to a winless team, right? So with that being said, like I said, follow me on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video. Feel free to comment. I will get back to you for sure. I have no life, and I get the notification, so I'll be sure to hit you back up if you got a question or if you just want to say what's up. What's up, bro? I'll be like, yo, what's up? What's up, dude? So yeah. Also, if you're listening on YouTube, you can find me. I am on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, all the main podcasting apps, at least the ones I know about. I'm sure I could be on more. It's really simple to be put on new ones. But yeah, you can find me on there. And so that way you can lock your phone, put it in your pocket, listen to some great Ravens content. That way you can listen to me on your commute. You can listen to me while you're at work. That's what I like to do. I like to just binge podcasts while I'm at work, just keep my brain busy while I'm being busy at work. Probably lowers my productivity, but who cares, right? Who cares? Got the headphones in, I'm rocking and rolling at work, getting the work done, feeling good, listen to some Ravens content, like, ooh, yeah, let's get going. And I want to name this podcast, I should rename it to Purple Kool-Aid Podcast, because I'm always just overhyping everything. But you know what? I was ending this podcast a while ago, so you know what? I will go ahead and do that, and I will leave you with a go Ravens!